So I'm a complete moron. I'm as dumb as a box of rocks, and I still somehow managed to become a millionaire at 20 years old. And I think a lot of people have this idea that you need to be smart in order to become rich and successful one day. And the whole purpose of this video is to completely disagree with that. I came out of high school with a 1.5 GPA. I got in trouble for plagiarizing, cheating on tests and homework. And worst of all, I was in a program for people that just didn't learn as fast as others. So I think that kind of gives you a little bit of an idea of where my educational level was then, and to be honest with you, where it still is now. And that obviously gave me a very limited amount of options into what I wanted to do in the future. And something I always wanted to do was become an entrepreneur, be a business owner, make a shit ton of money, right? Have that status, buy the cool cars like this, right? In the past year, I managed to secure over $700,000 in cars at 20 years old. I'm not saying that to flex or anything, but I'm letting you know right now, I am I'm stupid as hell. I'm just going to be honest with you. That's the truth. I'm not book smart. I don't pick up on things extremely quickly or anything like that. I'm just delusional and as crazy as you can possibly think. Everything I dive into in life, I feel like it's always going to work no matter what. Yes, of course, I know that there's risk associated with a lot of things that I get into and different business endeavors, or even trying what I do now, which is marketing, trying new techniques and new strategies. I'm just an idiot. And to be honest with you, I feel like it gives me a lot of creative ideas because I'm not bound to what everybody else thinks, right? Everybody else's standards where they're so limited and down here because they have to think smart and professional. I think in ways that, yeah, may seem stupid, but they sometimes work. And I think that's what somehow led me to where I am today, right? Now, I run a marketing agency, like I mentioned before, and all I do is deal with companies and business owners every single day, and I give them so many different unique ideas from a different standpoint that they're not used to seeing, right? And I'm not the most professional person, I won't lie. I may not dress presentable, I may not look presentable, and I definitely don't think like a professional person. But what I've also realized is in the space of making money online, I've noticed that a lot of the people I've met are just as dumb as I am, to be completely honest with you. And a lot of the millionaires, and I mean, let me tell you right now, I've met some really wealthy people in life, and some of these guys have never even had a college degree or even gave it a go. They dropped out of high school even. I mean, I have a good friend of mine who's made $1.5 million last year, which is now one of my clients. And I mean, the guy dropped out of high school, okay? And I could tell you right now, and I think he can agree if he was watching this video, that this guy is smart in his own way, but book smart, he's not. That's the truth. I mean, he found a skill that worked for him, and he made millions of dollars off of it, and he's projected to do multiple millions of dollars this year, right? What I've learned is that if you're not book smart, you have to find something that's going to work. You have to find some sort of skill. Everybody has some sort of skill out there. You just need to find it. Mine coincidentally ended up being marketing. I've tried every single business model under the sun. I tried original SMMA back in the day. I tried drop shipping. I tried clothing brands. That was my first thing that actually ended up working for me. Is I ended up starting a clothing brand when I was 18 years old, and I made $100,000 in 2.5 months. The brand went to shit. And just like anything in life, I dove into another business model with my head high, delusional as possible, stupid as possible, and I started a marketing agency, and it worked for me. I mean, that's what I do all day. And I feel like a lot of people are pressured to go to college and to get a degree or to think smart all the time. Well, to be honest with you, I think you just need to think a little bit more stupid, to be honest with you. And I think a lot of the things I've learned in life is that you kind of just have to dive into things without thinking sometimes. Of course, there's risk associated with a lot of things in life, but what if it ends up working, right? You have to have that mindset in life. Otherwise, you're going to be limited by everybody else's thoughts and their restraints and limitations and beliefs, right? So if you think like everybody else, you're going to be doing what everybody else is doing. If you do things not like everybody else, you're going to be doing things that not everybody else is doing. If you want to make money, like not a lot of people make more money, you're going to have to think differently, and you're going to have to be a little bit stupid sometimes. That's the truth at the end of the day. So being a complete idiot made me a millionaire by thinking differently than other people. Yes, I'm not book smart. Yes, I did shitty grades in school. I'll never go to college. I never have any chance at being anything if I don't be an entrepreneur. I mean, I'm restricted with what I am, and that's being an entrepreneur for the rest of my life. Because if anything never ended up working, and let's say it all went to shit, I can't go get a good job. I'd have to go back to school all over again and retry it and pray to God that that's going to work when it's not. With the limitations I had, I made something work for me. And as I mentioned before, I've met so many successful individuals that are not smart by any means. They're complete morons, and they act like morons. They're goofy. Most of the people you probably see on my social media that I post or I follow are not book smart. They are probably high school dropouts, maybe college dropouts, and most of them just had a business that worked for them, and they were just delusional into thinking that it was going to work, and it did. It's because they didn't give up. They're limited. They have very limited options in life. It's either you make it work or you don't. You make it work, or you go back to the normal life that everybody else has, and you're just like everybody else, right? A lot of these people that work so hard in life to become so smart, get good grades, get all this sort of good stuff, they don't even get the job that they wanted. They go to college for years and then pray that they get that job from that degree that they worked so hard for. And some of these guys can't even get jobs. I know a gentleman that I met who went to college for years and years. Grade A student. I mean, this guy got the best of best grades and is working a literal normal job right now serving burgers. Like, when I tell you right now that if you could spend that time being an idiot, getting into something, being delusional, trying things, learning, you may fall hard as hell. Like, you may come into a business model drop dead, cooked. Like, you might get absolutely fried by the business model. What I'll tell you right now is you're going to learn more than anything and trying different things, being delusional, trying new things, rather than doing what everybody else is doing, the normal, being just like everybody else, thinking like everybody else, believing into their limitations and their restrictions, right? So, I mean, at the end of the day, I truthfully feel like being in the position I was, being very limited, I had no other choice. And now, like I said, I run a marketing agency that does over 6 figures a month. I'm 20 years old. I will never be accepted into any other college. I'm pretty much doomed. So I have to make this work. And I think if any of you guys are watching this video and you guys are maybe skipping out on finishing the rest of high school or going to college, or maybe even you went to both of them and you're just still not that book smart, let me tell you, it does not matter in life, okay? It does not matter whatsoever. You got to find a skill that works for you. You're going to have trials and tribulations. That's part of life. But one thing you have to do is when you get into anything in life, you have to be delusional and you have to be stupid, because you have to believe that everything you're going to do is actually going to work one day and pay off. That's what I've had my entire mindset for my entirety of my life, because I knew school, okay, I'm screwed. What am I going to do next? I have to keep on trying and believe that every business model I try or everything that I've tried in life is going to make sense and it's going to make me money. Yes, of course, I went through multiple different business models, but by the time I was 18 years old, I found a business model that I stuck with and that I can now pretty much ride for the rest of my life, and I get to use that disadvantage of being a moron and being stupid to get cool ideas for my marketing agency and hire on people that I know that didn't get college degrees or didn't even finish high school. I can bring on to my agency because they're just as dumb and as creative as I am. And that's literally the whole point of running a marketing agency, is trying new ideas, being gifted as far as marketing and ideas and concepts, right? I mean, I've had $1 million companies come to me and I can tell them, hey, I don't have a college degree. I don't have the qualifications that you want, but I'll tell you right now, I'm a hell of a marketer. I may not be book smart. I may have not gotten that perfect degree you want so badly in order to meet your restrictions, but I'll tell you right now that you may think that's a disadvantage. I see that as an opportunity, and that opportunity I've rode out through my entirety of my entire life. And I've landed so many different opportunities. I've shaken so many hands from being as I am, not somebody who's smart. And a lot of people think that I am actually, I'm not gonna lie, man. I mean, I'm just being truthfully, to wrap up this video, I mean, I am a complete dumbass. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, bro. Like, it's just how it is, and I'm gonna keep on riding that out the entirety of my life, and it's gonna make sense to me because that's just the mindset I have, is that I know it's going to work. I'm gonna make things make sense. And you guys can too, If there's any sort of doubt in your mind as to thinking that you're not going to be able to make it because you're not book smart or you didn't finish college or high school, it does not matter when it comes to entrepreneur. You just need to find something that sticks and works for you and makes sense. I promise you guys, okay? You are probably more creative as far as business-wise goes than everybody else who's limited to other people's beliefs, restrictions, all their sorts of standards. You need to be different and unique. That's what separates you from everybody else, right? Because like I said, everybody, other marketers, they've gone to college for it. They've gone to school and gotten their marketing degree and stuff like that. Me, no. I'm just a 20-year-old. My brother graduated high school and still became a millionaire at 20 years old. To end things up, obviously, like I said, I run a marketing agency. Right now, that's what I do. I've been doing that for 2 years. I do 6 figures a month, and we're projected to hopefully do a couple $100,000 in the next couple months as well. We work with multi-million-dollar companies. If that's something any of you guys would ever like to dive into, and let me tell you right now, you don't need a degree. You don't need to be book smart. You don't even need to be smart at all. Like, you really don't. You just need to learn how to run ads, market for other people, and make them some money, and in return, you get paid lots of money for it. If that's something that might interest any of you guys that are watching this video, please feel free to check out the first link in the description down below where you guys can apply to work with me one-on-one. I'll be showing you guys how literally being a moron and me being somebody that barely even graduated high school can still operate and run a 6-figure-a-month marketing agency, and how you guys can do the exact same thing. All right? I appreciate every single one of you guys for watching this video. I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day, and I'm seeing you guys in the next one. God bless you guys, and have an amazing rest of your day. Peace.